Hello! So you're probably wondering why I'm dressed like this. Well, Thanksgiving is right around the corner. But I'm also dressed like a pilgrim to review Scott Pilgrim vs. the World, the video game, now available on Xbox Live Arcade and PlayStation Network. Now I know what you're thinking.
That was real punny.
But also,
isn't Scott Pilgrim vs. the World a movie? Games based on movies suck.
And you'd be right about 95% of the time, with a few exceptions such as GoldenEye for Nintendo 64. But this game is actually loosely based on the graphic novels that the movie was based on. Now you gotta be thinking,
this game has to be total horseradish.
But you'd be wrong. Yeah, it's pretty rad. Ah, such a great game. Actually, I almost dismissed this game altogether before I even played it. When I saw the trailer for Scott Pilgrim vs. the World movie, I wasn't very impressed and I had no plans to see it, until my friend Josh said that he read on a persnickety forum that it was actually an awesome movie with video game references in it. Before I went to see the movie, I happened to come across the game on XBLA and I was kinda turned off by the cover art. I thought, lame, another Western creation that's trying to look Japanese. Normally, I would have left it at that, but I thought about what Josh had said and decided to look at the screenshots. They actually got me pretty excited for the game and I bought it as soon as it came out. I was very impressed, and the game actually convinced me to see the movie, which was also awesome, and read the graphic novels, which were also awesome. It was a completely backwards way to discover the original work that inspired the movie and the game, but I probably never would have found it otherwise because I'm usually not into graphic novels really, but they're really good. Anyway, about the game. Where do I begin? Well, how about where I always start? The storyline. Pretty typical really. Guy meets girl. Guy falls in love with said girl. Guy has to defeat her 7 evil exes in order to keep the girl and stay alive for that matter. Pretty standard fare. Luckily, he doesn't have to go it alone, and he can team up with his friends, which is a large part of the fun in this game. So basically, it's a brawler. But it's also one giant love note not only to the fans of Scott Pilgrim, of which I have recently become one of, but also to fans of many other old school games, most notably River City Ransom, originally for the NES and now available on Wii's Virtual Console. This is probably my favorite brawler of all time, and Scott Pilgrim pays homage to it in a major way. The graphics are purposely retro, and mostly true to the art style of the graphic novels by Brian Lee O'Malley, but also nod to the chibi style of River City Ransom. The gameplay also winks at River City Ransom with its use of controls, weapons, money system, and RPG elements. There are actually tons of other classic video game references in this game, but I'll get back to those later. Since your character gradually becomes more powerful with experience like in an RPG, you're likely to hit a wall at some point, especially on your first playthrough. Luckily, there are 3 difficulty settings that accommodate your skill level, so it's not too unforgiving. If you play on Supreme Master, get ready for a challenge and get ready to die. But with time, it's possible to beat the game on any difficulty. Like most RPGs, you level up by fighting. A lot. But you also level up by collecting coins found in objects or dropped by enemies and spending the money on accessories to boost your stats. Like any RPG, this means that you'll be doing a lot of grinding in order to level up and buy items, which can get monotonous in any game, but it really never bothered me in this game. It only added to the challenge and the retro feel of the game. Actually, I got really nostalgic about grinding in River City Ransom to acquire power-ups and stuff. The controls are tight overall, and unlike most beat-em-ups, it's a 2D side-scroller that moves back and forth through 3D space. Kind of the problem with this is that you really have to pay attention to your shadow to know where you are on the screen so that you can line yourself up with your target just right. This can be an issue with any game that plays this way, but it can also be the cause of frustration in this game occasionally. Since the controls are somewhat restrictive in an old school way, platforming is just a little bit awkward, sorta like it was in River City Ransom. As with any retro style 2D game, your instinct will be to play with a D-pad. But I gotta say, the Xbox 360 controller, while functional and comfortable, has a terrible D-pad that always pisses me off. Just try playing any version of Pac-Man on XBLA with the D-pad. Up goes left, down goes right. It's maddening. Although it doesn't break this game, I'd still recommend that you use the analog stick because you can run without double tapping like you have to on the D-pad. It takes a little getting used to, but any shortcomings in this area should be blamed on the controller, not the game. Actually, the D-pad plays pretty well on the new Xbox 360 controller, but I digress. In the beginning of the game, you move pretty slow. Almost frustratingly so. But as you level up, you get faster, and it can actually become a little overwhelming. Along with your speed, your strength also can work against you at times, and things can get a bit chaotic, especially if you play this game multiplayer style. But that's half of the fun. Or frustration. Settings to the rescue. You can turn friendly fire off. Or on, if you're a masochist. Nah, but multiplayer is really fun, and it's a shame that you can't play online in a way, but nothing beats playing the game with your friends in the same room. The weapons are awesome, and there's a plethora of items at your disposal. Bar stools, beer bottles, party cups, kegs, and some other non-alcoholic related items as well. Earning money to buy food and accessories is pretty slow going and adds to a lot of the grinding in the game. Probably the best way of doing this is going to a subspace highway found in some of the levels. They're basically bonus stages, sort of, and they look like when you're trying to put an NES cartridge in the slot just right and it bugs out on you. It's really cool actually, and the world is really trippy. The music is also really bizarre here too. Oh man, the music in this game is insanely good. Just listen. Yep, it's the chiptune sounds of Onomonoguchi, an actual chiptune band, and they rock. It's so well composed and nostalgic that it will remind you of your favorite old video game tunes. In fact, if you really dig it, you can buy the album on iTunes. It's an incredible album, but I gotta say I was actually a little disappointed that there were a few missing tracks like the bonus level ambience and the cutscene from between the levels. It's sad because it's probably my favorite track in the game, but then again, all the music is excellent. And at least the shop music made it in the soundtrack. I love that track. It's such a gorgeous neo-retro style game overall. Everything from the backgrounds to the character models to the animations are designed with a level of detail that, well, took a grip of people to create. Speaking of characters and animation, there's 4 main characters, a 5th unlockable character, a 6th one available for download, and they each come with their own special ending, so there's definitely replay value. They're all cool and have their own unique moves, but if I had to pick a favorite, it'd definitely have to be Kim. She not only has awesome moves like the sneeze or loogie or whatever, but she also has great character animations. When she swings something, she gets this crazy look in her eye. She's hardcore. If I were to say, yo Kimmy, did you know that in 2012 our world will be destroyed by Planet X? I have reason to believe she'd straight be like, whatever, she's edgy like that. The humor in this game is actually laugh out loud funny. A lot of it comes from the graphic novels, but you don't have to have read them to have a laugh anyway. Another part of the humor comes from the parodies of other video games, as I had mentioned before. For example, Zelda. Final Fight. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Turtles in Time, or TMNT TIT, as I like to call it. Super Mario Brothers. Super Mario Brothers 2. Super Mario Brothers 3. Kirby. Mega Man. And of course, Street Fighter. Other miscellaneous references to video games, movies, and anime, but there's just not enough time to cover them all. There's so much old school feel to this game. It even has cheats that you have to enter on the title screen or the pause screen, one of which unlocks a sound test screen. Remember those? Friggin' classic. I could seriously go on and on about this amazing game, but the bottom line is, Scott Pilgrim vs. the World is a very enjoyable, nostalgic romp through the world of old school beat 'em ups, and at $10 US, I'd say it's well worth it. A single playthrough should take somewhere around 4 hours or so, but with 5 possible endings and unique character moves, you could definitely sink 20 plus hours into this game overall. If you're a fan of games like River City Ransom and other retro brawlers, you'll definitely want to download the trial and at least give it a try.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I don't really see what the big deal is. I mean, it's alright.
If your life had a face, I would punch it.